commissioners, it looks like, are going to vote or at least consider a possible curfew during your meeting, I believe, tomorrow. Explain the purpose of this and why it's being discussed.
Sure. And Aaron, it's more of a resolution. It's not like we're enacting a new law. The resolution is requesting local law enforcement to enact a law that's already on the books. And for the state of Louisiana, it's 11 to 5. And for the city of Shreveport, it's from 10 to 5. Of course, on the weekends, it moves to 12. And it's urging them to implement the law and start trying to carry out that curfew law that's on the books. One of my big things is, I think you heard me say from the meeting, I don't want to tell the police to do their job because no one's told us that they're not doing their job. I've been out in the street seeing them fly to the scene, and every time something happens when there's a shooting, you'll see 10 police cars out there. So they're doing their job. My biggest concern isn't so much with the curfew because the kids that are still in cars and shooting things up, I don't think they're going to listen to us saying, hey, you have to be in bed by 10 p.m. They obviously have no respect for the law. And I don't know how they're going to carry this out. I don't know how the cops are going to stop every car to see if they're out past curfew. I would like to get, like you heard me say from the meeting on Monday, I want to get an SPD rep or Sheriff Prater to come down and speak to us on this. Is what would that plan look like?
Mr. Mario, you've said that this is a law that's already on the books and it's time to start enforcing it. I assume that what we mean is start enforcing it again. Why was it originally instituted? Why was it originally in place? And was it successful then?
Robert, that's a great question. I would love to give me, Robert, you know, I'm only 41. I'm young relatively to the people that are in law enforcement that have been doing this for 30, 40, 50 years. So that's another reason why I want to get Sheriff Prater down there to say, when this was implemented, how was it taken? Was it successful? And where do we go from here?
The sheriff sent me a text this morning saying we really don't need a curfew in the unincorporated areas of the parish, that we really don't have a problem outside the municipalities. And he's a little disappointed that no one from the parish commission has asked his opinion about this. Your response to that?
He's 100% correct. Aaron, sadly, I watch the 911 Caddo stream every night, and it's just, I watch it in disappointment on all the calls, and I see my neighborhood, all the other neighborhoods that have the shootings, the calls for the SPD, and you can see the sheriff calls on there as well. You can see the fire department calls. I don't see anything coming from outside of the municipality of the city of Shreveport. And, of course, if we enact a law or urge them to enact a law, those laws are of the city of Shreveport, not of the parish of Caddo. Those are the ones where we write the laws outside of the municipality of the city of Shreveport. So Sheriff Prater is absolutely right. All these calls are coming from within, and that's one reason why I would like him or the SPD to come down and talk to us about this tomorrow. And I understand why Commissioner Johnson is doing this. It's because people are looking at us as the leaders to say, what are y'all doing? You guys need to do something. So this is obviously something that it's a step that we can take, but there's a lot more than just a curfew, and we need an all-hands-on-deck scenario.
The sheriff also said this morning, he sent me a text and with this question, and I know you've heard this before, why doesn't the commission do what they have an obligation to do and give us more juvenile detention space? Where are we on that? We haven't heard any solutions on that. We have a juvenile crime problem.
You're right, Aaron. We actually had a juvenile justice committee meeting last week, and I know Commissioner Watts addressed that, and we looked at some programs and how they're going to allocate a lot of funding, and I think it was upwards of about $500,000 that they're about to use the American Rescue Funds to push over there to jumpstart some programs that they have seen successful. I know Ted Cox, Director Cox, he's been working with us to try to get some truancy programs off the ground and to really help the judges that are down there to expedite the process of getting the juveniles through the detention center and getting the rehab that needs to be done.
Is this move to enforce the in-place curfew, is it something that all the commissioners are crying out for? Is this sort of Mario Chavez leading the charge?
You know, this is actually Commissioner Johnson, like I said, he's the one that brought this on the books. And that was one thing where I want to get an SPD rep down there, and I want to get Sheriff Prater down there and have a candid discussion on, besides this, what more can we do for y'all? And Sheriff Prater, I actually texted him about 2 days ago, and I said, I'd love to sit down with you and start discussing some ideas, because we have to do everything that we can. Even offered to allocate some funding to help the deputies implement whatever he thinks is fitting. So I know in the next couple of weeks, you're not only going to see the Caddo Commission, but you're going to see a lot of people coming out and getting together to work together to solve this problem.
This includes the Caddo Commission measure, includes fines for parents, $250 on the first offense, $500 for the second and beyond. It sounds like we're creating another government bureaucracy. Is that a concern?
Well, Aaron, sadly, there's a lot of unparented kids that are out of the streets, and there's no accountability. So you guys know that in my neighborhood in Southern Hills, we're big on litter removal. So I would love to see some people out there helping and getting some more hands on deck to clean up the litter. So if this is what it takes, I'm all for it.